I think the fact that it has truly been my greatest joy, and the way that just everything about being a mom from the time that I found out I was pregnant um, until today. Um, Obviously, there's been highs and lows, but it's just joy throughout the whole journey.
I think for me, I love seeing them learn and grow and really become who they are. And they're really cool people that I like to be around. And so I've just loved that whole process. Like Linda said, watching them learn and grow, every part of it has been good. Obviously, there's challenges along the way, but I love being a mom. Yeah.
I would say it is my favorite job. I've loved just the different steps of being a mom and the journey. But one of my favorite things is when you see your kids overcome something that maybe they went through something really challenging, or something's been done to them, but they come out the other side and they are stronger. And that is one of my favorite things, is to see them not be maybe a victim of whatever happened, but they use it for others and for growth.
I think for me, the best thing about being a mom is that today I'm so thankful I didn't kill them when they were younger because they have turned out better than I could have imagined. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just to see what they, like you guys have said, see what they've become, that God has done much more than I could have done individually as a parent. And to see what He's done in their lives and continues to do each and every day is just amazing to me. For me, what's been the most difficult part is when you see your kids struggle and it's something that they have to work through and you can't do for them. You wish with all your might you could take it away, but it's something that they have to work through within themselves and with the help of the Lord. And you just pray that they look to Him for guidance, because it's something that they have to internally figure out. And that's hard to watch, but it's something that you have to do, and you have to let them learn. So that's hard for me to do.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like those are the times that it's the hardest to not want to intervene and fix it.
Yeah.
And letting them, like you said, go through it and learn from it. And yeah, it's out of our control. So,
and make the mistake.
and yeah.
If there is one, that's what's hard.
Well, I think it's easy too to want to, because you've been fixing it. And if that's part of what you do professionally, and it's really easy to get in there and, make things better for everybody. But several months ago, somebody shared a reel with me, and it was, I think it was Jenny Allen, and she was talking about with young adults and, teenagers, it's don't get on their roller coaster. And I'm like, wow, how many times have I got on there when really all I needed to do was stand at the bottom, clean them up. If they got sick on the roller coaster, support them, laugh with them if it was a good ride. And I'm like, that's really kind of stuck with me. And I'm like, I wish I had heard that like 10 years ago. But it's like, we can't fix it all. And our parents couldn't fix things for us. So it's, it's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah. I like to call it advice. My kids probably would call it lecturing. But it's like you word vomit. And then you're like, they're not even listening anymore. But you feel like, I don't think they get it yet, so I need to keep going. Yeah. But I love what you said. I mean, letting them ride the ride, celebrating with them when things are going well, and letting them feel the lows. Because we know that that's how we grew, going through a lot of those things. Yeah. So
I think I did a lot of parenting from a place of fear that they would get hurt, fear that something would happen to them. And I wish I would have just relaxed a little bit more. I think I've grown a lot in that, and they're seeing that maybe more now than they did when they were kids. But I think it was that fear of somebody else hurting them, someone breaking their heart, someone, something physical happening to them. And so much of it was just trying to control and protect them. Luckily, they grew in spite of it.
It's true.
Yeah. I think when you get to the other side, it's like childbirth. You just remember the good things. Like we can, I think, probably all say, "Oh, it's wonderful," and we forget that, yeah, there were some really long days or seasons that weren't always easy, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it to put in the hard work and the hard time, especially when they're young, because it pays off. And those relationships that you build, even through the times that are kind of struggles, man, they just really pay off when they become people that you really enjoy being around, and they work through a lot of those issues. And I would say hang in there. It's worth it. It's a good journey.
And to that point, I would like them to know that they're not alone, right? We've all been through it. We might like our kids now, but we didn't like them at one point when they were younger. We've all been there. And if you're going through a hard time, reach out. I mean, I think anybody on this panel or anybody in the church that's a mom who's had kids knows how difficult it can be and has been there. You might think you're alone, but you're not. And if you need support, reach out, because anybody in this church would be happy to help, because we've been there. So whatever it takes.
When my kids were young, having other moms to hang out with was so vital. And also getting time away from your kids so that you can miss them was just something that I really valued. It was for Mother's Day each year, he would give me the day away from my kids because I needed to have that space to come back and be like, oh, I do love you. And having the other moms to hang out with and hear the me too, and trying not to compare what other kids were doing that my kids might not be. I think we can all say that our kids are potty trained and they can all read and walk. And when they're young, you kind of get caught up in those things that all kids end up turning out okay. So
Yeah.
And I would say, they are long. There's long days, there's long nights when they're sick. But just lean into Jesus and never get too busy or too discouraged to be in the Word for yourself. And then the community, like Jill said, all three of my children were born while we've been here at Okolona. Okolona has helped raise my children. And it's a huge blessing. And I really don't know that I'll ever know the investment that others have made in my children this side of heaven. And it's just invaluable. So don't hesitate to step into that and say, hey, I need some help over here, or encouragement, or whatever you need.
I think that's huge. The value of having, whether it's Sunday school teachers or your friends that love your kids, other adults that love your kids, D group leaders, youth leaders that pour into them. It's not just us raising our kids. It was so many people here at this church helped raise our kids. And we're so grateful for that.
Because they'll listen to them more than they'll listen to you.
That's for
They
sure.
need multiple people reinforcing the same things.
Yes.
For it really to sink in.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Who is that third voice that's in your child's life?
Yeah.
Because that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. really wanted to be a perfect wife and mother. I really thought I could be perfect. And I think I was probably the last one to be surprised that I wasn't. I think God knew I wasn't perfect. My husband found out along the way that I'm not perfect. But somehow I thought that I could be perfect. And I will say I love being a mom and a wife. And I've done my best. It's not perfect by any means. I think I want them to know how much I love them and how much I love this role. I think sometimes, when in the midst of raising them, maybe they don't always see that.
I think I would echo what Christy said. I took it very seriously. It's one of my strengths, but it's also a weakness. And when I reflect back on it, I can honestly say I made so many mistakes, but I can honestly say I did my best every day when I woke up and every night when I went to bed. I did my best, and I always prayed for the Lord to fill in the gaps. And so I tried to tell them now that they're parents. I'm like, I did my best, and I feel like they've already exceeded me and their level of parenting and the way they love their children, which is good to see.
Yeah.
But I was doing the best I could with the tools I had at that point in my life.
Well, and here's the good thing is that God, He knew before He gave His children that we weren't going to be perfect. Otherwise, He wouldn't have needed to send His Son for redemption and salvation. And so even though we want to be perfect, it doesn't surprise Him that we're not.
No.
And it's not even an expectation of His that we're perfect. But I think it can be of ours, and probably far from it.
And I think those are the days where my parenting, it was the hardest because I wasn't living up to the standard that I had in my mind of what I wanted to be. And when I was failing my kids, it came out, and I can share this because I'm sure my kids would. I threw bread once at my kids. I sat on one of my kids. I've done things I'm not proud of, but it's that it's those things we can laugh at now, I would say, for the most part. But during it, there were some hard days where I think what I would want my husband and kids to know, there's the physical side of mothering and all the things, but there's also that emotional side where you're planning and trying to emotionally manage all of these things, and you have breaking points, and so isn't always pretty. And so some of the things that can help diffuse that is maybe, words like, how can I help? Or thank you, and that diffuses some of that pressure and buildup, and we can be nice moms again. So
I do need to hear more of that story.
And I think to everyone's point, just to echo it, is mom guilt is real. It is very real, and it is very heavy, and it's a daily thing as your mom. Even now, my kids are grown, but there are still things that I think, oh, should I have done that? Oh, maybe I should have done that. When they're little, it's, I worked outside the home. Well, should I do that, or should I stay home, or should I, what school should we send them to? There's all this second guessing and feeling like maybe you didn't make the right choice for your kids, but to know you did your best, like you said, and you felt that was the way God was leading you. Maybe you missed it. You missed his voice, and he didn't yell loud enough to get into the head. But yeah, it's the emotional side of it that I think is much more difficult than the physical, and just those feelings of not being perfect and those type of things. But yeah.
I think you said that decision fatigue is a real thing, when you feel like you're making so many decisions, big and small, all day, from what to feed them, what to wear, birthday parties, just all the things. I think that for me was probably the most exhausting, was feeling like I had to carry all that. And I didn't. I mean, Jonathan was always more than willing to do all of it. But as a mom, you just feel like it should be you. So I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves that probably isn't necessary.
True. I would say a lot of prayer, because there are times where there is nothing else you can do. And I have come to, if I see a prayer that I may not know the words to say, but if I really like something I have seen, I will copy it. And now I have like 8 to 10 pages of prayers that I can look at, that I can pray over the kids. And it is the best way to get peace during times where you can't do anything else. And also having people who are a stage ahead of you, who have gone through it and can speak into it. It's just, you need those people in your life, because otherwise you just can get into a, like, I did this wrong and I could have done better. And Satan knows how to get to you to make you feel like you didn't do things right. And so having, prayer and other people to help support you during those hard times.
Yeah, and I think all those things are kind of was our plan. Prayer, obviously, working on our relationship together as a couple, and then always going back, keeping the main thing is like we want them to know and love Jesus. At the end of the day, that was our goal. And the decades have flown by, like they have flown by.
God working on me in whatever I want fixed in my kids' lives, I realize, no, God's actually working on me.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
Well, I think along with that is just gratitude. This is what we prayed for. We prayed for these kids. And
Maybe not these exact ones, though.
we prayed for kids.
Yes.
I will say we prayed for kids. No, we did pray for them. And even in the learning and growing stages and learning how to become a better person, how to become a better Jesus follower, how to manage stress and what do our bodies need, learning that I need to be outside a certain amount of time for me to really be at my best. I need sunlight. I'm totally solar powered so that I can really be thankful for this life that he's given me. And yeah, so whatever you need, I think you have to figure out who you are and how you're wired to really be the best mom.
I actually just heard this recently. It's Genesis 50:20, and it talks about how the enemy meant this for evil, but God meant it for good. And I have really just grasped onto that as we navigate parenting and letting go, that some of the things that we can't even see the answer to yet, Satan does want to use that for evil, but God can redeem it.
In Nehemiah, it says, the joy of the Lord is my strength. He told the people, do not mourn. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And that's, if I had a life motto, that would probably be it. The joy of the Lord is my strength.
I think for me, it continues to be love is patient, love is kind. And for somebody who struggles with temper and, I like to get it done. I like to get it done on my time, my way. That just continues. The Lord just keeps teaching me through that verse. And and it's a lot of the days when I was in the middle of raising kiddos, I wasn't patient, and I know I wasn't kind. And so just continuing to try to lean into that and grow in that area.
And I will say another thing for me is seek first his kingdom, because I think we get, at least I get so bombarded with the earth, the fleshly desires of this earth and what we want for our kids. We want what we want, what I want for my kids, but I need to seek his kingdom first. And what does his kingdom want for my kids? And I don't like when they don't align. And I'm still working on accepting that, honestly. I'm still trying to convince God. Surely he'll come around. But I'm working on being okay and being an example no matter what path my kids choose. Because sometimes I feel like they choose the hard one. But you got to be with them no matter what. But to seek his kingdom first.